A guy, Arnab, with his family is returning from a recent meet with a girl, Piyali, who is a surgeon in an internship, and her family to get into an arranged marriage. But on their way back, they get into a car accident in which an old lady dies. When the police are trying to reach the family of the deceased old lady, they find a girl, Roxana, who is chained in a barn in the woods where they live. The girl is completely cut off from the world and knows nothing about the world. The police close the case as a suicide, and also since Roxana doesn't want to be in the world outside of the woods where she with her mother lived. Arnab wants to help her because he feels guilty, but Roxana goes back to the woods. The next day, Roxana finds out that the guy, Professor, who has been haunting her since she was a child has found her and runs away to Arnab, who takes her to his home to keep her safe. Piyali has agreed to marry Arnab and has an engagement ceremony at Arnab's house, where Roxana is already hiding. Somehow he manages to hide her, and the guests go back home. Then one day, Roxana starts to have a lot of pain. In the evening, she is agonizing with the pain when Arnab finds her and tries to help, but she doesn't let him. Later, he goes to sleep, and after that, Roxana starts climbing the building's windows and sees a dog. She starts to adore him when suddenly she bites him and leaves her venom into the dog, who dies straight. One day, Roxana, at home, was listening to songs on the MP3 when she saw her nails grow back again. So she tries to find the nail cutter, which she can't. The day goes by, and Arnab comes home and finds blood all over the house. Roxana is sitting next to it. She has cut her nails with a knife and a lot of herself as well. Then Arnab tries to help her, and they get into a moment and make love to each other. The next day, when Arnab is about to leave for work, he sees the professor in his building's lobby. The professor is trying to tell him that Roxana is not a human, and she is just trying to make a baby out of you so she can spread the blood of God of Darkness. He tells him to stay away from her, and don't even think about getting close to her, but he already has, and she is now pregnant. Arnab unknowingly doesn't believe him, and asks him to leave. While returning home, Arnab notices that one of the professor's goons is following him, but he tries to confront him. During the confrontation, they fight and Arnab gets injured. Later, Piyali finds out about Roxana and rushes out and calls off the wedding. He finds out that she has killed someone who was trying to kill Arnab, and he starts to get afraid of her. Then he asks her to leave when Roxana grabs Arnab by his neck and then realizes and starts apologizing to Arnab. Then he leaves and goes to his office where he is researching and trying to know what Roxana is. He finds a book by the professor who tries to warn him while the professor learns that Roxana has feelings for Arnab. Arnab finds the book and says in it that Roxana is the daughter of an evil god whose motive is to make more of his offspring so one day he can take over the world. He goes back to Roxana with chains, and Roxana willingly gets into the chains because she loves him. But right after that, the professor arrives, and Arnab abandons Roxana and asks how long it will take to kill her because he is so afraid of her. The professor tells him that it takes time to kill these types, while his actual motive is just to torture her because she has given a hard time to the professor. 3 weeks have gone by since Arnab abandoned Roxana, who is being tortured by the professor's goons. Arnab has gone to his parents' house and hasn't talked to them, or even stepped out of his room. When after 3 weeks, Piyali comes to confront him, and he tells her the truth about Roxana. Then he realizes what he has done and goes to rescue Roxana and finds out that she has already killed all the goons. She is going after Piyali because she tried to steal Arnab from her. So he calls Piyali and warns her. By that time, Roxana is already in her house and ready to kill her for vengeance. But then she goes into labor, and then Piyali gets into a moment of awareness and helps Roxana deliver the baby. When she returns after getting cleaned up, she sees that Roxana has left without the baby. Arnab comes and sees the baby and finds out that the baby was made out of love and not by the god of darkness. He knows where he will find Roxana and goes to the woods and sees her dying because she needs to leave out some of her venom to live. Arnab tries to calm her down by hugging her, and when Roxana is about to bite Arnab and leave her venom in his body, she controls herself, and in the process, dies out of her venom. Piali and Arnab raised the child as their own. Thanks for tuning into our video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you liked and didn't like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any future videos.